How are you lot doing, people? What's going on? I think this camera's a bit fuzzy, you know. Hang on a minute. Right, how's this? Bit better, right? Okay. Let me tell you a little story. I'm not really one for going live on TikTok. Not really my thing, you know. Even though I do occasionally go on TikTok live, but I don't get any gifts, so what's the point? But I thought, let me record this and tell you a little story. If anybody wants to hear it, let me know, man. You know, sometimes you go through life and you come across people, certain different kinds of people. You know, even when you know when you're at your weakest, your lowest, you meet all kinds of people, and God will not throw you the people above your level. But me, I was dealing with people way above my levels, bruv. Like when I was out there on road, it's like I was in London back in the 90s, tearaway, that kind of person, you know. I was smart, I was academically smart, and I was also, you know, I could work. It wasn't that. My peers, the people who I hung around with, is like there was nobody out there who say, oh, I was wearing a suit and say, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. It was all criminals. There was nothing, that was the law. That was literally the law where I came from, right? So in amongst those peer pressure and all of that, I was still hustling and striving, working, doing what I had to do to be a responsible citizen, right? But inevitably you're gonna get caught up in the day-to-day grind of like street life and all that fucking shit. Yeah? And which I did, unfortunately. I did get caught up in all of that. Hanging around with people much older than me. You know, they used to call me Louis Lash. My name was Louis back then. I used to lash fucking handbags and all that kind of shit, like robbery and burglary and all that kind of shit. I wasn't a good person, bruv. People that know me now, if you knew me then, it's just two different people. But let me not digress. So anyway, that was my life. Peer pressure, criminality, and to some extent, I had my own flat since I was 16 years old. I had a flat at 16 years old. So I was responsible. I had to be responsible. But when you're 16, you meet people who are older than you. You hang out, come to your yard, have parties and this and that. I met a lot of people from my parties. My parties were legendary, bruv. My parties were the ghetto parties. Like back in the 90s, all the rappers were at my parties, bruv. They know who they are. But they might have forgotten me, I might have forgotten them as the year go on. So anyway, as I was saying, you meet people, and then this one time, right, I'd done something. I think I bought a stolen car. In the 90s, bruv. Fucking 90s. But when a nigga like me wanna come for them out like this. Anyway, forget that. So I think I must have bought a stolen. It was a Polo. I bought a Polo. It was stolen though. So what did I know? The car was stolen. I was driving the car now. The police came up to me in the car. Blam blam. you're nicked, that car's stolen, that car's nicked. Plus as well, you've been someone reported you for doing some other crime somewhere. So like, listen, bruv, I was caught red-handed, right? In a red polo. So what the fuck what am I gonna do? I know I'm going down. So then, in that, they made me an offer. They said, nigga, we can either send you to a bail hostel in Leicester, or you can stay here and go to jail. Which would it be? I think they must have saw like that I wasn't all that bad. It was just peer pressure. So they said, okay, it's either Leicester or stay here in London. So I said, okay, I'm going to Leicester, bruv. So I left my flat, everything, all I worked for in London, to go to Leicester and live. Right? I went to Leicester. I lived there for 3 years. But let me just break down in increment. My flat was already left here in London. My mum, even though we weren't really that tight, but we still got on in a way, she then looked after my flat, which I didn't know nothing about when I left. I thought the flat was gone, bruv. So I went to Leicester on my Jack Jones to live in this hostel in Leicester. When I got to the hostel, bruv, as soon as I said I'm a Londoner, people quiver. Man, them scared like he's a Londoner, because they knew about us Londoners, right? And me, back them days, I was a bad man. And on the times that I'm not a bad man, I had to play that bad man part in a way where, because remember I told you, God will not give you people that's above your level to mix with every day. People that you mix with are always the people that's on your level. But me, I was always dealing with people older than me, bruv, bigger and older than me. And I was always uncomfortable. In that uncomfortability, I had to play this fucking bad man role. And sometimes I win. I remember I was on my Jack Jones in Leicester. I had to make friends, I had to fucking make enemies, do this, do that. The things I've done in Leicester, right, is a lifetime of work in Leicester. Leicester for me was a great place. But it's all good things. But before I get to that, yeah, I was in Leicester, got sent to this bail hostel, and this hostel was like, bruv, one of the worst hostels in Leicester to get sent to, and I went there. First day I went there, now I'm seeing all these Leicester people chatting shit to me about nout. I'm like, what are you talking about, nout? What's nout, bruv? What are you talking about, nout? What's nout? And then, when I found out that nout meant nothing, I started laughing, bruv. You couldn't help but laugh at these fucking foreigners, these Leicester foreigners, bruv. So anyway, got to mixing with people, got to mixing with the staff and all that nonsense. I think on that night, like the same night that I went to the hostel now, I think they gave me some food to eat. Don't know what, I think it was cheese on toast, red Leicester cheese on toast. Soon after I ate that piece of fucking food, man, blacked out. I was on the floor, blacked out, bruv. When I woke up, I started being aggressive. I started being angry and aggressive and wanted to beat people up. I don't know what happened to me that night. But I blacked out, woke up, and I wanted to fucking fight people. That's how mad it was. So anyway, I think, I can't remember what happened. They might call the ambulance or whatever. I don't know, blah, whatever. So anyway, I got back from my escapade in the hospital. Started to meet people, you know. Started to relax, meet certain people, go out of town, go to town, meet people and all that nonsense. So whilst I was in the hostel, right, there was a guy called Darren. He was also a Londoner, but he was like an alcoholic, druggy, slow-witted bastard. He was talking about Frankie Fraser. Mate, I know about Frankie Fraser, alright? You ain't got to tell me about him. I swear, this geezer was always going about Frankie Fraser. I'm like, yeah, Frankie Fraser had the craze, blah, blah, blah. But he was a good guy, Darren. But he was always, didn't know his place. He did not know he didn't know his place, bruv. Because he was also a Londoner, he thought he could test me. Like, but, you know what, I felt sorry for him. And then this other guy called Pops, the old man of the hostel, the old guy. Nah, in my culture, you respect old people, bruv. But Pops, yeah, everyone liked him. He was Pops, skinny old guy. I don't know where he is now, probably dead. God, I hope not, but people liked him. And then there was a guy called David, bruv. This geezer was bigger than me, older than me, a white guy. I never worked him out. I didn't want to be scared of him, because that's not me, that's not what I did, right? I didn't know what fear was. But this geezer, one day said to me, you know, because like, if you realize the culture of white people, right? They go back generations in this particular place. So when they talk, it has resonance because they know this is their culture, this is where they are. But this guy David was a criminal, right? And he got sent to the hostel. And I know I was scared of him, but I didn't want to play that part, being scared of him. Nah. I think one day he said to me something that made me that just shook me, bruv. The next day now, the guy was gone. Don't know where the guy just left. Don't know where he was. Lucky for me, because me and him would have clashed. We would have clashed, bruv. So anyway, I'm having a little workout here, by the way. If you see me moving side to side, I'm having a little workout. So anyway, we and then as you go, we had this worker that worked as a staff who always used to bring skunk, some high grade skunk, bruv. This skunk was like potent shit. And when I was smoking this skunk, right, he used to work there, one of the Bell Hostel staff. And like, I never work out why this geezer would bring weed to the place when he works there. And then I just realized, boy, everyone does it, man. But this geezer was ruining our lives, bruv. Bringing some high, potent skunk to the place. When we smoke it, we get all mad and dizzy and whatnot. But every week, we pray the guy comes with more weed, bruv. That's how it was. So anyway, as I got to settle down in the residency, town. I have to get into town now and find out what's going on in town, right? So I'm meeting these people, black dudes, right? Finding out the politics, who's who around here, who's who, what's what, who's Soldier Man, who's Riff Raff, who's Kiddie, all these guys in Leicester. But the Soldier Man was the guy that you don't fuck with. I never ever did meet this guy, but I fucked his girl. Soldier Man was a guy that was murdering people at the time. You know, that's what I keep hearing. He had this Italian girl that was living right next to me, and she had this kid, little light. I think that must have been his kid, you know, because she had this little half-caste little kid. Sorry, from my language, this light-skinned little boy. So anyway, now I bet this girl, Italian girl, she was pretty, but she was older than me. I can tell. We got to, you know, doing what we're doing. And then one time, we were playing about, right? This girl tied me onto the bed. Yeah, I tied my feet to the bed, tied my arm to the bed. Man could not move. I'm stark bollock naked, bruv. My thing's dangling. And then she's letting her friend in the house. A girl, by the way, not a man. A girl. I'm standing there embarrassed, bruv. Get me out here, get me out here. Fuck me, boy, but them days, you didn't really care about being naked, you know. I don't know why. When I was younger, I didn't care about being naked. Because back then I did porn as well. I'll let you know about that one day. So, but I'm on the bed now, naked. Eventually she did, you know, let me go. So I was getting mad. And this woman even let the fucking kid running around the place. I swear she was funny. This woman was funny. When I think back at her now, I swear she was funny. People with kids, right, they should not have kids when they act funny like that. But anyway, that's another story. So anyway, I keep saying anyway, stop saying anyway. I go in town, meet people. And there's this guy called Spider, right? Tell me what you think of this. This guy called Spider in town. Me and him got close, like we was hanging around together, going out, meeting girls and all that kind of shit, going nightclubs. But he was different, bruv. This guy was different. Like, I didn't know at the time. Yeah? But he was, I was hanging around with a guy called Spider and another guy called Quincy. Quincy, he was a tough nut, but Spider was a bit funny. But one day, me and him were chilling now, doing something, going out somewhere. This guy tried to fucking kiss me. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bruv? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, you're so nice. You're such a good guy or some shit like that. But I was shocked. From there on, me and him just stopped hanging around together. Like, I just thought, nah, mate. I thought you was a brother still, but nah. Spider. And then when I was hanging around with Quincy said, yeah, listen, mate, people know about Spider. But I just didn't know. I just arrived on the scene, right? I just arrived on the scene. So I didn't know no one and how they were like. So then it was me and Quincy hanging around. Because Quincy was serious. But he knew they couldn't fuck with me. And I was also on the edge with him because I knew that if this geezer were to let go, were to like let off, nobody can fuck with him, bruv. Short little guy, but serious. Quincy. And his twin brother. And his twin died like years ago and it was just him alone now. So I felt away for him still because it was just him and him Jack. So me and Quincy was hanging around. Don't know what happened, but then I think that was it, me and Quincy. We didn't really, I think, yeah, it was natural. I think I left, I moved somewhere and he moved somewhere else, I don't know. So then there was this other guy, a lot bigger than me, older than me, right? Sort of like, I can't remember, I think his name was Michael. This guy was scary, bruv. And like, it took a genius not to show that I'm scared of this guy. But I was hanging around with him anyway. I didn't want to show him that. But one time I'll be letting the man know that, listen, don't fuck with me. You don't want to fuck with me, bruv. And he knew that. But to me now, it wasn't real because I was there on my Jack. I didn't have anyone there to support my back. You know what I mean? But this guy with Michael, it was all right. But the same way you don't want to fuck with you, you don't want to fuck with him. Anyway, yeah, me and him hang around, got to meet people, went clubs, got to meet the girls and all that nonsense. And then I'm going further back, I'm going to places where I shouldn't really go. Because this is about territory, right? It's about the people, you know them areas, like Highfields. So when I was in the hostel, I think the hostel shut down and I got moved. I got kicked out of the hostel for whatever reason, I can't remember. I got sent to a bed and breakfast just down the road. All you can do there is eat breakfast and get the fuck out and come back at night. I think I was there for a week. Then I was homeless in some big, massive shelter in Leicester. When there was snow, I was out there homeless. And then finally I got another hostel in Lincoln Street. Lincoln Street was next to Highfields. Highfields where all the bad men were. Like you got Lincoln Street and then you got St. Matthews and then you got Highfields. St. Matthews, I knew people there. I knew people in St. Matthews. I even knew people in Highfields. But I ain't got territory there yet. But in Lincoln Street, St. Matthews, I had a territory because I knew a girl in St. Matthews. Even though her husband was a bad man, I was dealing with her for whatever reason. And the man let me deal with her for whatever reason. So I was like, yeah, we was doing things, going out, doing what we was doing. Bruv, Leicester was just great, man. It was great at times. When you had no fear and you was worry-free and all that nonsense. No, there was no thought about terrorism. There was no thought of that. It was just a free life, you know? You ain't got to worry about these things when you go out. I'm in Leicester now. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let me just go to college. Let me do this. Let me try and make something of myself while I'm here. I went to college somewhere called, Charles King. Yeah, Charles King College in Leicester. I went there. Yeah, I met a lot of people there. How I do with me, I meet a lot of girls. I love meeting girls. That was my whole thing in life. Was women, girls. If I didn't have girls, then fuck it, bruv. What am I doing here? I'm Jack fucking Jones, mate. No one to look after me. So I met a lot of girls. Too many that ruined my life. Yeah. So, well, I can go on and on and on and on. I can go on and on about the guy when I got into a little fight with about six black guys. Yeah. All right. What happened? Yeah. When I got moved to this hostel in Leicester, after I moved away from my first hostel, and I got moved to this other hostel. There was this black guy there. Can't remember his name now, but this little guy, I thought he was a bad man. Like, and I couldn't stand him, bruv. I hated him. but the thing about him, he had people in fucking Highfields, bruv. So one time I'm at college, right? And I left college, and this guy's out there waiting for me with about 6 other man, 6, 7. I think there's also been like 8 mans waiting for me. Like, so I come out. So I was in the shopping centre. So I was in the shopping centre. So I come out of the shopping centre, and he's out there waiting for mans, right? What the fuck do I do, bro? I'm my Jack Jones, and I know the man's got tools on him, bro. I shift like I never shift before. I shift into this college. I shift into this college where my girl goes. I was with this other white girl called Emma. Called Emma. I went into it was like a kind of like a grammar school. I run in there now, and some teachers come out and they save me, bruv. And like I'm like, fucking it, these motherfuckers didn't save me. Man would have been dead to us. So I'm in the college now. After a little while, they left, and I knew I was gonna see that guy in my hostel again. So when I left, I went to go home. There he was, this guy. Mate, I must have grabbed this motherfucker, right? I must have just strangled him on the floor. I had him on the floor and I was strangling this geezer. I swear to God, if it weren't for the fucking man that came in to save me, he would have been a goner. That guy would have been a goner. I was strangling him. So anyway now, I was mad. So anyway, after I let him go now, the guy see me again in town and he don't say shit to me. He's respecter, man. So you got to look after yourself, people. This was me back in the time, way back in the day, when I didn't have any sense in my head. It's like these are things happening to me in Leicester, bruv. While you mans are here fucking living life of luxury, eating fucking bacon and roast dinner, man's out there on road, dealing with people, fraudulent ones, hateful ones, criminal-minded ones, all these sorts. Out there, I was dealing with these people on a daily basis, yeah? And yet I'm here to testify but I get no respect. I get no credibility. I get none of that shit because why? What's it all for? Nothing. Nothing. If I want to give you a little advice, is don't think because you lived a bad life you should have credibility. Don't even play on that. Don't even play on the fact that you've had a shit life. Don't demand respect. Don't demand for people to understand your feelings and shit like that. Because that's a trap. It will trap you into a place where you can't get out for ages, bruv. Because people will never give you respect or say sorry. People will never say sorry to you. Remember that. So anyway, I'm in Leicester now. I kept driving to London and back with a car I bought. That, to see people, to meet girls I met in London. I would drive to my old flat and it was still there. So Leicester was great, but I could go on forever. I talk about Leicester and how it was back in the 1990s. Sorry, yeah, late 1990s. It was a great place, full of Asian women, Asian life. It was a great place, Leicester, but I don't know what it's like now, but when I was there, mate, I lived it. I used to travel from Leicester to London to work, like in Wembley Stadium, the FA Cup finals and Twickenham horse races and things like that. We would get into a bus, a coach, all of us from Leicester. We would drive motorway M25 to these fucking places, bruv, and it was just beautiful. Weather was beautiful. There was never any fucking rain at the time. I don't know why. It seemed to be more beautiful weather. But nowadays it's all fucked up. Yeah, no love nowhere. No, people can't see the big picture anymore. All they see is porn. Internet has just ruined us. It's ruined man and woman relationship. When we never really had it all, we wanted it all. Now we've got it all. We want more, but we can't have more because we've already got it all. So people, I'm gonna tell you now, hold back. Reserve yourself. Don't give it all already. If you give it all, you're finished. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, people, yeah? I'm gone. I'm having a little workout now, yeah? I don't want to be... I have a lot of memories. Memories done. That's what it is.